Hey guys, the Wood Craftsman here. So in this video I'm going to be going over a review of a new to me Castle pocket hole machine and pocket boring machine. This is an older model. It's a TSM 21. It still has the Porter cable 7310 laminate trimmer motor for the pilot hole and the Porter cable 690 for boring the pocket. Now Porter Cable has stopped making the 7310 laminate trim router, and unfortunately because of that change, Castle can no longer support that machine with that router, but they do actually make a conversion kit where you replace the whole yoke assembly to use the Bosch routers, and that conversion kit does come with the Bosch laminate trimmer and a 2 horsepower Bosch router. Probably a little needed upgrade as far as horsepower, especially in the pocket, but really when it comes down to horsepower, it's not about horsepower, it's actually about the amperage, as far as available amperage that a router motor, electric motor in general, can give out. So I recently got some new tooling. I talked to my sharpening service and they highly had recommended using the Whiteside rough mills. This is an RU 4000H. I picked these up for about $41. Castle makes the tooling as well, or they have it made for them. The Castle equivalent is around $68, and from what I've been hearing from my sharpening service is that the customers that they supply, they found out that the Whiteside Machine tooling seems to last just as long for the cost. So it's about a $27 difference, but for me, I think the Whiteside work out really well. And if I don't like the Whiteside, I'll try a Castle, and maybe I'll try something off of Amazon as well. So I do have a new 9/64 bit as well, but the bit works pretty well, so I'll probably run that one for a while, but I'm for sure going to change out the tooling that's in here right now, because the tool the router bit that's in for cutting the pocket is actually a 2 flute straight bit, and I did a couple initial cuts offline, and it definitely kind of struggled to the end of the pocket kind of. So I'm going to do some before and after testing to show you with the current tooling, and I want to replace the pocket boring bit with a rough mill as far as how much faster it'll actually go. And we're going to be running some soft maple, some red oak, and some birch, because that's what I use in the shop here quite frequently. So, and then also do it in some 3/4 inch plywood. This plywood actually has an MDF outer band, so this will be a representation of what goes on in the shop here. So as you can see, I'm dealing with a little bit of consistency issues. This one didn't actually boil all the way through. Part of this is the limit switch, which I'll have to adjust. I'll see if I can adjust that while I'm doing this, but I'm really concerned about the tooling right now, just get the tooling fixed. But this is a common problem with the Castle, and they actually have a video to actually show you how to fix that. So we might have to address that in this one here. But looking at the particle board, or the plywood, I don't use particle board. They're all pretty consistent. So I think it's the struggle with the rough mill or the tooling that's in there. And surprisingly enough, the soft maple is actually, seems like it was harder to plow through than the birch. And I would have said that birch was harder. But, and one of the oak here as well did not bore all the way through. So, I'm going to change the tooling, and I'm going to show you what it runs like after the tooling change. All right, so I've changed the tooling. I've went to the Whiteside RU4000-H 3-flute rough mill, and we're gonna give this a shot. So we're gonna do the same 3 species: birch, soft maple, oak. I think I did them in that order. And then here's the one piece. I've got the 3/4 inch ply with the MDF outer band. This is the 2F stance or 2 flute. I have the other pieces behind me for the 2, they're marked as 2 flute as well. And I'm thinking I'm going to see more consistency. I think part of the problem is that 2 flute bit, even though it's pretty sharp, if I would change the speed a little bit, it probably would have been more accurate, but I did one brief test cut offline and it moves a lot quicker. So let's give this a shot and see what we got here. All right, here we go. Well, let's look at these here. So these are all the 3FRM, and that stands for 3-flute rough mill. Without taking some actual measurements, these pockets look pretty consistent, so I may not have to. That's why I wasn't too excited about having to adjust the limit switches or the reed switches for the completed cut. So again, I mentioned that this actually came out of a small cabinet shop just about 35 miles north of me that did commercial case goods. So this thing did a lot of pocket boring for particle board and melamine. When I was at this cabinet shop, literally this cabinet maker's wife, her belated husband, had actually, had all this equipment. Kind of basically got out of the business a few years ago already, so there's a lot of equipment sitting idle, so I actually went there to go look at some stuff, and this is what really kind of caught my interest. But the nice thing is she had some routers, and I actually picked up another 7310 that I can use for a spare for the pilot hole, and I also picked up another 690. So, and actually the 690, I paid $50 a piece for these routers, and I got a DeWalt one in here too. Kind of like Norm Abram, you can never have enough routers. Instead of changing router bits, you just change routers, but that's probably not the case, especially for this one here. This one here, I'm going to keep it for a spare, and also in the porta cable pocket hole machine I have right now uses the same router, so I should have 2 spares, because the retrofit kit for this to convert to the Bosch, including the Bosch routers, is about $1,000, so I'm not ready to justify that yet. So as long as I got spare router motors, they'll be good, and plus my local repair shop can more than likely fix and repair and rewind these if needed. So as far as the 690, maybe I will just put this in the shop for other purposes, because essentially I could replace the router motor with the 691. It'd probably be a little bit of a welcome change, but they ran 690 for many years on their single phase models, so it's probably worked just fine. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Questions and comments are welcome. Thanks for watching.